let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. Dropping six. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android The Rush Radio app, good to have you here this morning. It's always great when you're tuning in your car or on your home device. If you're watching on YouTube, which a lot of you are this morning, already commenting on what's going on, give this channel a subscription, like this video, start leaving your comments in the comments section. You can follow us on X at Rush Mornings, like our Facebook page, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and follow us on Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. Good morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on there, buddy?
Not much, man. Kind of a wild Tuesday night.
Yeah, a wild Tuesday night. I'm going to start with a very unpopular opinion, maybe.
Okay, all right.
A very, very unpopular opinion. Well, I don't know if it'd be unpopular. I think it might be with some of the purists out there, because we've already got people talking about the horrible officiating in the WNBA. And we're going to talk a lot about the Indiana Fever. This came on last night. I was driving back from a road trip, and Ross goes, "Man, you're not going to believe what's going on in the WNBA. There's fisticuffs, there's hair pulling, we got cat fights, we got all sort of stuff going on." And so I started kind of paying attention, and then you kind of see what unfolded between the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. Here's my unpopular opinion. Say what you want about the officiating. Say what you want about the hard fouls on Caitlyn Clark. And we'll get to Sophie Cunningham in a little bit as well. Last night was one of the best things ever to happen in the WNBA.
Dude, you think that's an unpopular opinion?
Well, I think some people will be like, man, the officials, there's no place for this. They're beating the crap out of Caitlyn. Listen.
True.
All true. What happened last night got more eyeballs on the WNBA than maybe anything else besides Caitlyn Clark going off for like 7 3-pointers against the New York Liberty. Last night was the WNBA can sit back and go, yeah, that's really bad. Oh, thanks for everybody who's clicking on all these videos.
Quit it some more. Some more. Stop it. Keep going.
Yes.
You know, Trav, when I first got into music radio, I was taught this little cliche, this little trick. If a kid is singing along to a song, that song's going to be a hit. Not the song is a hit. Your kid will sing a song before it's hit. You'll be like, how do you know the words to this song? We've all done that. The kid, you're driving along, song's new to you, kids singing it. How do you know that song's going to be a hit? The new thing for me is my text groups. Dude, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I've never heard this story, but all my friends know it. Oh, this is going to be a hit. My phone lights up last night with, dude, WNBA, Fever game. Holy cow. They're fighting. Oh, my gosh. Security guards are on the court. My phone rings. It's Courtney. She's like, are you watching this Fever game? They're fighting. Like,
I'm on the phone with you, and Eli comes into the room, and I hear Eli in the background giving me play-by-play, blow-by-blow of what's going on. I'm like, this is – and I'm just sitting there going, for as much as people are going to rip the officials, and Caitlyn Clark sits down in the post-game press conference to say, hey, we're here to talk about basketball. You can try to push it aside all you want. It is the exact thing the WNBA is going, oh, this is just getting more eyeballs. This is getting a lot more eyeballs for us.
There's lots of stuff there, but I real quick want to point out another home run PR move by Caitlyn Clark to walk in there and say, I just want to talk about basketball. Obviously, and again, Travis, you're nailing this. It's the story. It's the thing everybody's going to talk about. It's wonderful for the growth of the NBA. It's wonderful for all of the stuff that they're trying to do. It's not for Caitlyn Clark doesn't want to be the victim. And she does not. Okay. Michael Jordan Tiger Woods, when you're that competitive and you're on top of the world like that, you don't want any kinks in the armor, right? You don't want to ever have to you don't ever want to have to move the other direction. I'm the hero. I'm not the victim. I'm the hero. And I'm not saying that Caitlyn Clark thinks in her own mind she's the hero. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is something about her personality and Tiger Woods and all of those guys that it's forward. It's forward. And
stays above the fray. You could easily get sucked into the negative comments. You could get sucked into, she could come out and say, these are a bunch of bitches. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, she could come out and say, listen, these bitches are beating the hell out of me. But she stays above it. She's a competitor, and we'll hear from her a little bit later on. But, I think she's the type of person that says, you know what? You can do what you want. My game's going to speak for itself. And I'm just fine in this league. I'm bringing ratings up, and the more you beat the shit out of me, the more people are going to watch. And they're going to get mad because they're beating the shit out of her, but then they're going to get all excited because of what happened last night. Let's start with really what kind of started it.
Okay.
And you can see it right here. She's and if you're listening, she gets poked in the eye by J.C. Sheldon. And a little shoving match. And then Marina Mabry, number 3, actually comes in and does the big shove. And now I think Caitlyn did a little acting right there. I could be wrong. She got hit pretty hard in the face, but there's a little drama there. But Mabry comes in and just puts a linebacker move on her, right? And
that's the first one right there. The girl that pokes in the eye immediately. Dude, watch the reaction, Trav. Can you go back a little bit? And I want people that are, if you can't see it, all of the players react and charge at Caitlyn. The girl that pokes her in the eye immediately puffs her chest out and goes and bumps Caitlyn. 2 of the other teammates come racing at her. One of them is Mabry, who doesn't slow down. She barrels over Caitlyn and knocks her to the ground. Now, does Caitlyn do a little bit of the LeBron flail thing when she gets poked? Possibly. And now that you see it, all 5 girls on the court instantly turn and start racing at Caitlyn. Watch it here. Watch. There's the bump. Now look, boom, they're all charging at her.
They got her back, man.
Dude, no. I'm talking about the Sun.
Oh, the Sun, yes.
Dude, they hate her. They hate her. Look at this. Look at them all charging and yelling at her. She gets poked in the face, and they all start charging at her. They all want to be the first one to knock her down. Mabry's just the one that does it.
And Mabry's a big girl. She's a big woman.
She's thick.
And
she's put together, yeah.
And that was a cheap shot.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Dude, they were waiting to do that. Watching that video over and over and over. They were waiting to do that. They instantly charge. All 5 of them.
It's like, it
was like there was a bounty. Who's the first one to knock her to the ground? Who's the first one that can knock her down? Because, I mean, dude, the one girl, as soon as you don't see girls do that.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to stick out my chest and I'm going to go into you. And then Mabry comes in and just.
I've seen girls fight. I've never seen a girl do the chest bump thing.
You want a piece of me? You want a piece of me? Here we go.
And then run at her, and she kind of like goes at her almost like a penguin. Like, all right, I'm going to stick. It's all, dude, I don't know. Maybe I'm paranoid. I'm a conspiracy theorist. You watch that video and tell me that all 5 of those women weren't instantly reacting like they'd practiced that.
Wait for your opportunity. Wait for the time.
First one that knocks her down is going to get $1,000.
Yeah.
First one to put Caitlyn Clark's jersey on the floor gets $1,000.
Now I believe there were what 4 technicals, or no? I believe Sheldon got a flagrant, and then Tina Charles and Marina Mabry got technical fouls. Caitlyn Clark also got a technical foul on that, and the officials came back. They said, "Why did you give Caitlyn Clark a technical foul?" And they said because she shoved her in an aggressive, unsportsmanlike manner. She just got hit in the freaking face. And what are you supposed to do? Are you not supposed to defend yourself? Are you supposed to, turn the other cheek? Kenny Rogers is saying about that, it doesn't work out all the time.
Hold on. Give me a minute. Coward of the County.
Coward of the County.
Oh, what a great song,
isn't it?
Yeah. Till Tommy stopped and locked the door.
But that wasn't the end of the I'm not going to call it fisticuffs, but I want to, a lot of people think Sophie Cunningham was defending Caitlyn Clark here, but I want you to watch the beginning of this play. This is about 46 seconds to go. And this is what I think led up to it. It is watch Sophie Cunningham get her ankle rolled right here. Boom. Watch that. So she goes down and she's been coming off injury. Now at the 46-second mark, Cunningham just mugs Sheldon. And I mean mugs her. And this is where it gets interesting. Sophie Cunningham is tough. She's like the enforcer. And security had to come and get involved. Ross, all of a sudden you hear the crowd go, Sophie, Sophie, Sophie.
Yeah. Yes, you could hear the crowd chanting Sophie. Now watch this. Now, okay, watch. Not only does she drag her down like that, watch what happens. Grabs the back of the hair and look at her talking. Look at her talking the whole time. See her? Do you see Sophie? Do you see what Sophie Cunningham did there?
She's not backing up from anybody.
What she's doing there is defending Caitlyn Clark. I guarantee you what she's saying there is, we know what's going on. Quit it. We're sick of this. That's why we're here. Watch. Grabs the back of the hair. She's got her by the bun, and she's talking the whole time. If you can see that other angle, Sophie Cunningham's talking to the top of her head the whole time as she's trying to Muay Thai clinch her.
That is awesome stuff. Sophie Cunningham ejected from the game. She's smiling about it. She's loving it.
This is the angle here, I think, where you see what I'm talking about. This is where you see that they're what.
Because see, that's girls always pull hair. Why do they pull hair?
You ever had your hair pulled?
No, because I don't have any hair.
You ever notice that when a girl does grab another girl's hair, she's got control of that girl's head?
That's true. That's true. But this all is so good for the WNBA. It is.
Travis, I mean, when you say unpopular opinion, I see what you're saying there, where people are going to hear that and go, no, the WNBA needs to not be this. The WNBA needs to be really good basketball and good competition and showcase their athleticism and all that. No, the WNBA needs eyeballs. It's a business.
It's 100% a business.
And nobody got hurt last night. And who do you want to blame? If you want to blame somebody for it, who do you want to blame for last night?
Well, if you listen to Stephanie White, the head coach of the Indiana Fever, who's also a TV commentator, so she's very good on the microphone, she squarely places blame on the officials. Here she is.
This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete, and they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right, out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
She's not wrong there either, right?
It's got to go back one step further. This is like blaming the cops when crime goes up. It's the team that's playing that comes into the game with what she's talking about. We knew it was going to happen. Well, then whose fault is it? Now I understand you wanted the officials to try to get control of it, but go to the source. Go to the source. Blame who's to blame, and that is the people who are going into the game with the intention of trying to hurt another player. We're going now. Again, it's Jordan rules. It's the Jordan rules, dude. I had this thought when you were talking earlier. What if Caitlyn did say, "I'm taking my ball and going home. I've got millions of dollars. I'm from West Des Moines, Iowa. I've got life-changing money. I got a boyfriend who's going to make good money. I don't need to make you." I'm not saying she's ever going to do that.
No,
I know that's not going to happen.
To do that.
Just imagine what We freaked out when Barry Sanders walked away with like a year left in his life. On his career. I shouldn't say life. The guy's still living a healthy life.
Dude, it's the double-edged sword for the WNBA, right? Is that you have your marquee player who brings millions of eyeballs to the league, has been the best thing that's ever happened to this league. You can talk about all the great talent that's there, and I'm not disputing that. There's a lot of good talent in the WNBA, but never enough to get me to watch, get you to watch, get your text group to watch. So you have this generational talent who we have said, and others have said it as well, is on par with at a marketing level of Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. And people have not seen somebody as marketable and as exciting as Caitlyn Clark. So but then you have these storylines that develop. But what you risk is it's not taking your ball and going home. You're putting her health at danger of injury.
Yeah. Maybe that's a better way to look at it. What if her ball is taken away and she goes home?
Yeah, and we saw what happened when she was out for 5 games. The level of interest, sure, they still got eyeballs, but the level of interest in the WNBA was not the same with Caitlyn Clark in uniform. So you have to get control over it. But, man, it's hard not to get sucked into what happened last night because you're like, this is fun. I'll watch this. I'll be interested in this. You know, I mentioned Caitlyn takes the high road, and she does. She just comes in because we talk about basketball. But she kind of set a message of her attitude and the way she's going to approach, all this stuff that happens game after game after game.
I'm a passionate player, but at the end of the day, I'm here to play basketball, and that's what it is, and my game's going to talk, and that's all that really matters, and I love this game, and I'm going to give it everything I have, so I think that's what competitors do. You just step right back up to the challenge.
I mean, very, very scripted-like, very, very soundbite-ish, but what she's saying there is, I'm going to let my game speak for myself. You can do all you want to me. I'm a better player than you.
And that's, I don't think that's scripted, man. I think that's just
scripted
in
up to the challenge, all that other stuff.
Yes, scripted in that way that she's answered those types of questions for a while. She knows not to. It's so impressive that she just has seemed to make so few, if any, of these media mistakes. When has she said the wrong thing? I mean, the most controversial thing she did was this. Wave her hand in front of her face. Last night's a great example of it. It would have been real easy last night to go, this sucks. This sucks. I'm just trying to play basketball out there, and every time I go out there, I got people trying to knock me over. I'm okay with physical play. I've been playing with boys most of my life. I'm okay with that. This is beyond that. Again, look at how those 5 women reacted as soon as Caitlyn Clark, as soon as the play stops, they're charging at her. There's something else there. I want to talk about the officials for just a second, Trav, because I see a lot of people in the comments that are like, "Oh, it was the officials." Even during the play-by-play, the commentators are saying, "Yeah, this is the officials' fault," because that's the low-hanging fruit, guys. Because everybody is going, "Oh, officials. Yes, they make mistakes. Yes, we all do. We don't bitch every time Caitlyn Clark misses a shot. You don't go, Caitlyn Clark sucks, dude. She missed 6 shots last night." No, the officials are not great. You're absolutely right. If the officials had started the game by knew that the Sun are going to go out and try to attack Caitlyn Clark and instantly start blowing the whistles, you'd all be bitching about that. I tried to watch a game last night. A ref show broke out. We are blaming the cops for crime. It is the team that breaks from the locker room and says, "All right, guys, we're going to go out there and as physical as we can. We can't beat them, so we got to beat them." Why can't we say, man, why can't we put the blame there? Why can't we start the conversation there? Are the officials not great? Yes. That's but again, when I say the low-hanging fruit, guys, when everybody is just screaming about that one thing, but nothing's ever changing, we got to change the conversation.
It goes deeper.
And then when you watch what happened, when you see that video of all 5 women reacting the way they did, charging at her, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's all 5. You see, here's my chance. Bam. But yeah, the officials out there, they should have done what?
And all Caitlyn has to do is go, you know what? You can do this, but you're going to thank me when this new collective bargaining agreement kicks in, and you're going to be making more money because you're making more money because of me. So you can beat the crap out of me, but the new TV deal, the new collective bargaining agreement, everything is going to be because of Caitlyn Clark. And so you can slap the hand that feeds you, but it's a major mistake.
A dude from Iowa says there are better refs if they truly want the best. Is that true?
Well, could you go at the end of the day, you got to get NBA refs or your top level college refs to go, I want to go do WNBA games. I guarantee if I went and asked John Higgins right now, how many of your referees want to do WNBA games? You know how many he would say? 0. Why? I would rather do high-level Division I basketball than WNBA games. It pays more eyeballs on it. You get more games.
Is eyeballs a thing for officials, or do you think it's literally just, I mean, if I were an official, it would just be how many games can I work and how much money can I make per game?
No, I think it's not eyeballs in the sense of TV, but you know what? Would you rather do a Connecticut Sun Indiana Fever game, or would you rather do a Kansas Duke game? You know, I mean, that's pretty high level basketball right there, man. I mean, that's, you walk into Allen Fieldhouse, you walk into Cameron Indoor Arena. You can say there's better officials. There are better officials, but they have to want to do WNBA games. And I don't think the people are there to go, hey. And if you think there are better officials, listen, I host a podcast called Make the Right Calls for the John Higgins Basketball Association. There is a referee deficit right now. The higher end officials are aging out. And because of what we're seeing, there are less people getting involved with officiating. The training's not there. Don't just assume there are better officials out there who want to do WNBA.
I think there's your qualifier. Are there better officials out there than what are on the WNBA courts? You just nailed it. Yeah, there are.
You know,
and really, it's pay, and the game is growing. So. Maybe that changes.
Let's hear from Stephanie White. I think she explains this very well, and it's about a 30-second soundbite. But I think she explains what's happening here and what's not keeping pace.
The game has changed so much. Players are faster, they're better, they're bigger, they're stronger. You know, they're as good as they've ever been. They're as athletic as they've ever been. The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better. Except the officials. So we got to find a way to remedy it. I mean, you've heard every coach talk about it, so I don't know what the answer is.
She's not wrong there, right? And women's basketball is the best we've ever seen it. And she's with the athleticism, with the skill set, and she's saying everybody's gotten better, but the officials. And there's probably nobody on the comment section, nobody listening to the show right now, that if you've watched the WNBA, hell, if you've watched college women's basketball, that would disagree with that.
Travis, you could take the words that she said there, write them down, and you wouldn't know what sport she was talking about.
That's fair.
You wouldn't know what she was talking about. The world, everybody's gotten better. Everybody's gotten bigger. Everybody's gotten faster. The game has gotten better, and every part of the game has gotten better except for the officiating. NFL, MLB, NBA, WNBA, you name it. Golf is the only thing where officiating. Golf and tennis. Golf and tennis are the two things where we aren't bitching about the officials. Why in tennis? Because there is no official. It's somebody telling you what the computer said.
Yeah, and if they say it's out, they just go to the Cyclops and they go, no, the computer says it was in or it was out. I mean, so it's easily corrected.
Brian listen, man. Brian's onto something here with the hockey deal. We don't bitch about hockey officials, and you don't very often see, and they've got a good replay system. So golf, tennis, hockey's in that area there of like, man, why are the, I mean, hockey's it's such a unique game where if you grew up around it, you know where the puck is without watching the game. It's wild to watch a game with my buddy Josh Fisher. It's wild. He's watching a different sport than I am.
They may get mad at a penalty being called if it's close, but for the most part, you're calling what? Icing. You're calling offsides.
Offside. Yeah. High sticking. There's anyway, that's an interesting part of the conversation. I'm glad whoever brought that up into the chat. Thank you for mentioning hockey, because we don't bitch about hockey officials. And Ray, our resident hockey fan, Ray has to wait like another 3 weeks before the regular season starts now after last night.
515-517-2303. Who's this?
Hey, Chad. How you doing, guys?
Hey, Chad. What's going on?
Chad?
Hey, I've called before. I'm a high school basketball official here in Des Moines, about 29 years, going on 30. But I would love for you to ask John Travis about kind of some of the comments I make. So like when you're going into officiating, at some point in time, you got to pick men's or women's side of basketball, right? I know you know that, Travis.
Yes.
Wait. Why is that, Chad?
Because the two games are different, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I do both girls and boys in high school, but at the collegiate level, you pick one. You have different sets of rules. You have different sets of mechanics. That's another rabbit hole, probably, Ross.
Yeah.
My point was kind of.
Well, I was going to say this.
My point was kind of,
Go ahead, Chad.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and what happens, Ross and Chad, is you get you're a 1099 employee. You're basically a freelancer. So when you work for certain officials that schedule you out, if you want more games at the college at the men's level, if you say, "Hey, I got a women's game tonight," they're gonna kick you out of the pool. They're gonna be like, "Hey, if you can't."
100%. That is something that can't be said too loudly, because I myself experienced that in a very low level, working a men's college game one night. The next night I'm working a girls high school game. And then the next night I'm back and I see that coach and he makes a comment, and then I have to, so my point is that, a lot of the men, in my opinion, have been chased out because of the look. So like, you got men that have chosen the women's side for multiple years, and now NBA and college women are going after a look, and they want that look, and I understand that look. But when you do that, you're eliminating many men who have 30 plus years of officiating experience for a female in her 6th or 7th year. And I that's what I relate Stephanie White talking to. Like, the officials are just not catching up to the level of play's speed. And I watch it, and body language when you watch officiating, when you're in over your head, and you can see it in the way that they hold themselves, in the way that they carry themselves, that they're WNBA officials, no doubt, but there's still a level of play. You work junior college, you work Division II, Division I, all those are different levels of play that have to match the officiating. And there's a stair step through those processes as an official that I'm sure John would tell you, and if you're not ready at one of those levels, you're dang now not going to go to the next one. And they're forcing officials up. And some of it is due to the, lack of officiating, but some of it for the WNBA and the women's college is they're after a look, and they're replacing experienced officials with inexperienced officials.
He's not wrong there. And what he means by that is they want more women officials, which I understand, but you're bypassing a step just because probably of your gender. I think if you were to ask the coach, hey, would you rather have equity in gender here, or would you rather have the best officials? At this point, I think people would say they have the best officials, but you're not going to get them because there's a lot of guys, like Chad just said, who are like, I'm going to get passed over anyway. So I'm going to take this route, or I'm just not going to go down that route because I don't want to be disappointed. Chad, good stuff, man.
Yeah, Chad, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, guys. Love listening to the show.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it. I mean, people are getting shoved out just based on if you're a male or a female. People don't want to hear that, but it's true.
Man, Travis, doesn't the WNBA, don't they try to build some of this? Well, again, I love these conversations because we just got some great information that takes us back to the foundation. What I was about to say is, didn't the WNBA try to set this up to prevent some of this? Meaning they put their schedule in a spot where all of these officials should be available. NCAA is done. NBA is done. You have your pick in the world of the greatest officials right now. You are the best basketball on the planet happening right now.
However, and let me counter that though. The best officials, let's use NCAA officials. Best NCAA officials are doing 95 to 105 games a year. Okay, your body does need time. You're like, you know what? I'm out because once you know, everybody thinks, well, they don't start again until late October, November. Well, you win Iowa State start, practice, and they do scrimmages. Guess who comes in to officiate those?
This is what I'm saying.
They bring in officials because those officials need to get back up to game speed as well. I don't think you're going to find too many officials that want to work year round. And that is, okay, once the NCAA tournament's over, it's like, I need a break. I need to heal my body. And
again, I think you got to go back to what Chad said. The foundation of it is they make you pick early on, which I wasn't aware of that. And I'm trying to run through my head. Obviously, there are differences in the game, and I remember, Trav, when I called games at Grandview. I mean, obviously, we're talking about a totally different level here compared to NCAA Division I basketball and WNBA. But you would call the women's basketball game. There'd be a 20-minute break while the men came out and did their layup lines and got ready, and then the men would play. And it took a minute. It took a minute. The game, it is a different game. It's a completely different pace.
I'm sending John a note to see if he could join us this morning so you could ask some of these questions because he could give better clarification. But it'd be, and where you have to make that choice and why you have to make that choice. 515-517-2303. We'll take a break. We'll come back, continue the conversation on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Brennan Santone here with Willis Cadillac. It is officially summer. Behind me I have a beautiful CT5 Blackwing with over 600 horsepower and drift metallic. It is available on our show floor. We also have EV Conquest on all of our EV models. We do have some lease loyalty just for owning a 2012 or newer Cadillac as well. And also we have gotten several new CT4s and 5s in. Come check out this summer what we got going on over our Clive location, or check us out at williscadillac.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's $25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer's here, and that means extra miles on your car. With road trips, summer activities, and more, stop in now and get a vehicle inspection to make sure your Land Rover is in the best shape possible. We'll even throw in $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com to schedule your appointment today.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to The Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's The Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Make sure to get to the Iowa Fireworks Farm, everybody, because the 4th of July is coming up, and everybody loves to light up the sky. And you can get a bumper crop of boomers for dirt cheap prices at the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
Just, what is it, Travis? About 30 minutes south of the metro area. You head right down I-35 to the New Virginia exit. Man, Travis, are you a fireworks guy? Have you gotten that bug before?
I love. Well, here's the deal. I love to watch fireworks go off, right? And what happened? It's like keeping up with the Joneses. I used to be a fireworks guy. You know, I would go buy my fireworks. Then the neighbors would do their own fireworks, and then it'd be like, well, I got to outdo the neighbor. Then I got to outdo the neighbor, and then you're like, well, you're pricing me out of the fireworks game. But that's why Iowa Fireworks Farm comes in great, because it's a bumper crop at dirt cheap prices. But listen, there was an adrenaline rush when you let off some mortars. I mean, let's be honest. You kind of feel like a pyromaniac. You kind of feel like just somebody who it like makes you feel masculine.
Say it. It's man shit.
It's man shit. That's a good way to put it.
It's like,
absolutely.
And I've had that, dude. I've had a couple of years where you get that adrenaline rush. The sulfur smell. Start to feel like Arlie Emery. That's every time we talk about the Iowa Fireworks Farm, the bumper crop of boomers that are waiting for you, and then at the end of the read, you get to the Godfather, and I'm like,
and he mentioned the Godfather. That's the grand prize we're going to be giving away, a $700 mega pack, which will give you the best finale in the neighborhood. And the best place to register for that is go to therushradio.com. That's therushradio.com. Click on the promotions tab, fill in your name, your telephone number, your email address, and you're going to be automatically registered to win the mega pack Godfather edition, and also a weekly $50 gift certificate. So they've got a large climate-controlled showroom. You can preview everything that you purchase, and you could have the best fireworks display in the neighborhood. And you could do it at any price point that you want. You want to spend $100? Spend $100. You want to spend $1,000? Spend $1,000. But that's all up to you. But you're going to find the best prices and the best fireworks at the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
Sign up for that $50 weekly giveaway.
So are you still shocked? So what blows your mind away? Because you seem to be a little bit perplexed about having to make that choice. Either go the NBA route, have to go the NCAA route, have to go the women's route.
Yeah.
That kind of surprises you, right?
Again, I try to tell you often that I'm a lot dumber than you think. Okay, so I'd never really had thought about that, first of all. So it was new information to me. And then the first thing that went through my head as we were talking was, well, why is the game so different? Because our buddy Chad said, he just said it in a way that almost was, that everybody knows that the game is very different. Chad knows a lot more about basketball than he's forgot more than I'll know. And he said it in that way, like, well, yeah, the games are just very different. So my brain then, I remember my Grandview days. The game is very different, even at the exact same level. The game is very different. The speed of the game where the game is played. I mean, literally, the ball in the men's game, the ball is played above the rim, and on the women's game, it's played at the hip. And that has moved up now. So it's just a totally different game. And so it just took me a while. I'd never thought about it. I'd never really, and it's taken me a moment. It's kind of blown my mind that you can't just take a men's official. Travis, even the thing of, hey, officials need a vacation too. Oh, come on. They don't want to travel around the world. What are we asking them to do? Go to basketball games? No, we're asking them to spend 5 hours of their day preparing every day. Even because one of our guys in the chat said, I got a neighbor that's an official. This dude's constantly jogging and staying in shape. So it's not, you don't just get to do this on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, John. If you can book me a couple games, I'd appreciate that. I'd really like the cash. Okay, and I'm kind of chasing rabbits in my brain here. A couple years ago, I'm down at the Iowa Wolves game, and I took Audrey down there. I was going to be calling the game, and so I took Audrey and Eli. There were, of the 3 officials in the game, 2 of them were women. That was so cool to Audrey. Audrey was like, "Dad, there's girls out there." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's really it." So that was that thing of like, man, representation really does matter.
It does matter.
Really does matter.
But were they the best?
That I don't know.
Talking to the officials that I talk to, and I've talked to a lot, you'd be surprised. I always ask every one of them, what makes the best official? And believe it or not, Ross, getting the calls right is not number 1. It's probably number 3 on the list.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Managing coaches?
Well, in a way, it's communication. They said the best officials are the best communicators. And if you're not constantly communicating, now you can't let it get out of hand to where a guy overruns you, but if you explain the calls, if you're just upfront, and the best communicators are usually the best officials. Now, of course, you've got to get calls right. When I say it's number 3 on the list, their goal is still 92 to 95% getting calls right. And you're like, why is it 100%? Because nobody's ever going to get 100%. It's not going to happen. But the goal is, that 92 to 95 percentage rate of getting calls right. But it is communication, not just with coaches, but as we saw last night, players on the floor. You have to be able to communicate with players on the floor, because you're dealing with them. And then court presence. You can tell when somebody is confident out there, is confident in what they do. So if you combine a great communicator with a great court presence, with getting calls right, that's what makes up an ideal official. And court presence does play a part in it. You may not like it, but it does. Because you can tell when somebody's not quite sure. And it's almost like a sign of weakness. And people will start exploiting that. And if you're not confident in being out there, coaches, players, they're going to run all over you. And the fact that the officials didn't get that game in control last night led to and again, we'll blame officials, but Ross is right. It goes way deeper than
it's
that.
one of those things. It's a soup. It's a soup. You can't blame. Yeah, you got to spread the blame around a little bit. How did we get to this point? Well, one team came in super aggressive. Officials had no idea how to handle that energy. I think maybe that's what the coach is saying there, right? Well, I hope Ray didn't see that clip, by the way. Did you see that clip of the coach when she was doing her press conference and she did the Elon Musk salute?
Oh, I did.
Boy, Ray's mind exploded.
And by the way, we've been to games at Iowa State. We've been to games at Iowa where the officials let it get out of hand. And it usually happens from the very beginning. And that's why you have to the officials do set the tone for the game. They do. And sometimes, Ross, you brought it up. If you're calling it so tight early on, fans
People
get pissed.
bitch about that. Yeah.
It's like, let them play, let them play. Then if you let them play, you're like, you're beating the crap out of the players. You try to find the best officials are the ones that are rarely seen or heard, because If you're not complaining, they're probably doing a pretty good job.
See, I'd love to have Higgins on with this because
I texted him.
Darn it. And I know we have other stuff we want to get to besides this. I know that. But,
let's be honest. This thing is dominated from the minute I called you at about 8 o'clock last night up until this morning. This has dominated the headlines, and it's dominated sports. And if you think we're going to be the only ones talking about it today, tune into Stephen A. Smith this morning. Tune in to Pat McAfee this afternoon.
I hope that the national conversation talks about some of those things that we saw. There's something about how all 5 of those women react at one time. They're trying to attack Caitlyn Clark. She's like they're like hyenas, and she's the little baby lion.
I may be in the minority here, and I brought this up, I think, last week. This goes back to when Diana Taurasi said Caitlyn doesn't know what's coming for her. It almost put a bounty on her head.
Oh, dude.
It was like, oh, you are subconsciously telling us to go after her.
Not even subconsciously, Travis. Maybe what she actually was saying there. I forgot about that. I forgot about that saying. She doesn't know what's coming for her. Travis, they were talking about it. They were talking about it before she got in the league.
Yeah.
When she was in college and ESPN is leading with, look at this girl from Iowa. Those WNBA locker rooms at that point, you're right. And I know this is what you were trying to say. This is what my conspiracy brain is now coming up with.
I'm trying to say.
But they were talking about it openly in those locker rooms years ago. I can't wait for this girl to get up here. I can't wait.
I won national championships at UConn. We're at this level. She's getting all this
Iowa.
publicity. Yes.
Great. You're hitting 3-pointers against Northwestern. Cool. I played at UConn. I played for Gino. And Gino says you ain't shit too, by the way.
I won national titles. I mean, you don't see Paige Beckers going through this.
Because they're not Caitlyn. She's different, man. Anyway, I don't know. It's a phenomena. It's an absolute incredible phenomena that 2 years ago, dude, you would have not convinced, you couldn't convince me that it was going to transition. Like, dude, we're not going to talk about the WNBA. What are you talking about?
But the truth is, without what happened last night, we would have talked about Caitlyn Clark having 20 points, 6 assists. The Fever let's not forget, what did Caitlyn Clark do last night besides get beat up? And she didn't get beat up, but she got mugged pretty good. Oh, the Fever get to the Commissioner's Cup final, first time in franchise history.
Don't even know what that means, and it's not the story at all. I'm sorry.
The story.
Yeah,
but
I don't even. Have we even talked about whether they? I don't know. I didn't know they won the game.
They won the game, and they get to the Commissioner's Cup final. They're going to play Minnesota. Caitlyn had 20 points, 6 assists. She had 1 rebound. Nobody cares about that. What they care about is, and let's be honest. Yes, because you know the majority of who we broadcast to are Iowans, but there's people listening from all around the world right now. But look what happens in baseball, football, NBA. If there's a fight, what do we talk about? If there's a bench clearing brawl in baseball, we like that.
In baseball, they don't even have to brawl. If guys come out of the dugout, and and all start barrel chesting, and the fat guys from the bullpen do the slow man jog.
Okay, let's go to, we didn't play it the other day, but you sent me this clip of a girl watching the NHL finals. She was like a 9-10-year-old, and she's getting interviewed by a local television station.
Oh, yeah.
And they're asking her about hockey. And they go, what do you like about hockey? What did she say, Ross?
I like the fights.
Like the fights.
I like it when they fight. And she's, you say 9-10. I feel like it's maybe even 7-8. It's a young girl.
Yes.
It's an elementary school-aged girl. I have got one of those in my house. Travis had 3 of them at one point in time. Greta, I remember, Travis, when Greta was about that age, you would take her to the Omaha Lancers games.
Yep.
And that was the thing that she
wanted fights. She's like, then I took her to a UNO hockey game where in Division I fighting is not allowed. And I took her to a hockey game. She goes, there were no fights. I'm like, yeah, it's not allowed here. She goes, well, why did we come? You didn't want to see the skill set on the ice? No, I wanted to see guys get in fights. Because what happens is you get that. People are fired up after watching last night. Your text group blows up. Can you imagine what the energy was like in the arena in Indianapolis last night?
To the point where they were chanting Sophie Cunningham's name.
Yes.
If you watch the clip where she's got the girl by the bun and she's talking to her the whole time, and I don't think she was saying, hey, I'm really sorry that I fouled you. I was just trying to get the ball. I don't think that's what she was saying. I think what she was saying is, hey, a bunch of us were in other locker rooms these last couple of years. We know what the blank you guys are saying and what you're planning. Stop it now.
I think we just put a cage around the court. And
don't need a cage. We need a phone booth. I'm telling you, we're on to something here. This idea is too good.
I mean, it is a guilty pleasure. Why is football the most popular sport in America? I won't say the world because people don't in Europe don't follow American football like we do. But why is the National Football League? Because it's a gladiator sport.
Yeah. Because of the toxic masculinity of those 7 and 8 year old girls that want to see people fight.
And when you talk about the Sophie Cunningham thing, you got two things going with Sophie Cunningham. One, she's one of, if not the hottest player in the WNBA. And
is she the same one that was accused of having the affair with?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's kind of been debunked. But if you follow her on Instagram, and I do, she's not afraid to be flirtatious. Let's put it that way. So she's got this personality. But then when you see somebody who clearly has now her ankle got rolled right before she made the hard foul, but there was also kind of a retaliation on the girl that fouled Caitlyn Clark. When you have a teammate that has your back, fans love that. You're the enforcer.
Travis, I retweeted something this morning right before we went on. I saw a couple of tweets that were pretty funny, and one of them was like, "Our warrior," and it's a picture of Sophie Cunningham. That's what it's gonna, yeah.
And she's not dumb. What does that do to her marketability?
Times 1,000.
Yep.
The chat cracks me up, dude. The chat cracks me up. I just nothing. Smash. All right, so
we love violence. Why is UFC more popular than boxing? There's better marketing and the best fight the best, but let's be honest, you like the brutality of it.
Travis, why is slap fighting a thing?
And even if you say you don't watch slap fighting, I guarantee you've stopped on TikTok or you've stopped on Instagram or Facebook just to watch it. Go, okay, how hard are they really going to slap this person across the face? And you're like, damn, I couldn't take that.
John Alexander writes, now we fight. Ernie L style. Wham!
Maybe that's what we need is a private jet at 36,000 feet. Some people are going to be disgusted that we're talking about this, but it's the plain truth.
Yeah.
We love violence. We love a different storyline. Otherwise, they just played a game last night where Indiana won 88-71. So what? Give me a little drama. Give me an antagonist. Give me a protagonist. And now we got a story. Now we got a movie script. You're going to make me take sides? All right.
Dude,
the only thing that would have made it better is if it was a good team they were playing. Connecticut sucks. They're like 2-9, 2-10 on the season. Rebuilding. Now, if it would have been the New York Liberty, that adds even more drama to it.
Am I the only one that just assumed when I saw that there was a brawl that I thought it was Chicago and Indiana? My instinct was like, oh man, Angel and Caitlyn got into it again. So maybe that's part of this too. Maybe having more than just people like me need to know more than just two teams.
And I promise you, there were women from around the WNBA last night who texted JC Sheldon and said, hey, good job. Way to go after her. Because you have two camps here. And look what you have now. You're creating this us against the world mentality. Either you're with us or you're against us. Fever fans are going to be like, the entire league is against us.
Yeah.
And you can use that as a motivator. World's against us. Let's just go out and prove them wrong. Caitlyn Clark stays above the fray, says the right things in news conferences. Your teammates have your back, and they'll take the fall. They'll go make hard fouls. They'll do the retaliation. Because Caitlyn Clark's not going to do the retaliation. Now, she might get a cheap shot in here or there, but it won't be to the level of Sophie Cunningham. Dude from Iowa says, I want to watch Caitlyn Clark cook. Not fun watching it turn into a brawl. Can't you have both? Didn't you have both last night? You're watching it from a Caitlyn Clark perspective, and I don't disagree with you. I love it when let's use the New York Liberty game when she went off for 7 threes and went on that run where she hit like 3 threes right in a row. That's cooking. Everybody loves that. But we're talking about a wider general audience where it went, oh, I better pay attention to this.
Travis, so dude is right. Where if Caitlyn's not cooking, if there's just a fight in a WNBA game, nobody talks about it. If Caitlyn Clark goes off in a game, people talk about it. If Caitlyn Clark goes off in a game and there's a fight in that game, ride the rocket. The fight is not the thing. Caitlyn is the thing. Caitlyn having a great game, and then because Caitlyn is what has the people watching the game last night, right?
Yep.
I'm
100%.
sitting here, and then all of a sudden there's the fight is what gets the text going, and the tweets, and that's what takes it into the stratosphere. So I don't think that the fighting is the fighting's not the necessary part of it, is what I would say. Caitlyn going off, Caitlyn being able to cook, as dude says, that's what people need to see to come back.
Ryan says, will Caitlyn ever not be hated by other teams? The answer is yes, but it's going to be like in year 8, 9, 10.
You're nailing it, Trav. You're nailing it.
Because then you're going to have a group of players that grew up idolizing Caitlyn Clark. They weren't jealous of her, that say, hey, you paved the way for me. You inspired me. Look at all these golfers out there that have been inspired and motivated by Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, remember Fuzzy Zeller? I mean, the older generation didn't like Tiger Woods right away. I think they appreciated his game.
I remember Fuzzy.
But Fuzzy Zeller and others were like,
okay. I love it. So, I was thinking, I was thinking of all of these players in my head that we hated at one point, but then eventually you kind of flip the script on. You know what I mean? Where and over time something happens and you relate to them. Something happens, and in my mind, what I was thinking was that we change our minds. We, with Brett Favre or Jameis Winston or whatever. And maybe Brett Favre is a bad example, but you kind of change your mind on a guy, right? You go, man, I didn't like this guy, Allen Iverson. By the end of their career, you go, you know what? I really respect this guy. But dude, I think that you're onto something here, that what actually happens is that the pool gets diluted, meaning more people come into the game. You replace the Fuzzy Zellers with the Ricky Fowlers who come into the game idolizing the guy.
Yep. I mean, let's use us as fans.
That's good.
And you've had this conversation with your son. I'm an MJ guy. Michael Jordan is a great. Your son is like, what do you mean? LeBron's better than MJ? And when LeBron first came on, we were like, he's not better than MJ. MJ changed the game, but now LeBron's towards the end of his career, and you got to go, okay. I don't think he's better than MJ, but you have to go.
This guy's amazing. He's had an incredible career. Yeah. Kept his head above the fray for the most part. Like that, lots of stuff you should tip your cap for LeBron on. But I love that it dilutes the pool rather than. Did you know who the one I've told you this? You know who the one where the pool's been diluted on? Larry Bird. I can't convince these kids. I can't convince these kids that Larry Legend was the real deal. Like, come on, man. The white blonde dude who looks like he was changing oil before the game. Yeah. Yeah.
Right out of French Lick, man. And go watch some of the stuff he did. You're like,
you have to listen to the players he played against, in my opinion, because those are the guys that go, oh, you don't get it. You don't get it. Larry Legend.
515-517-2303. Let's take a break. We wrapped up hour number 1. Another full hour coming up on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. We have some great stuff going on this month. Right now you can get $4,000 off a brand new QX80, 2.9% out to 60 months. On top of that, QX60s are doing 1.9 clear out to 60 months, 2.9 at 72, and even an incentivized rate at 4.9 at 84 months. For more information, come see us in our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android app, thank you so much. If you have an Android phone, just go to the Play Store and search The Rush with Travis and Ross. Our little logo will pop up. Just download the app. You can start listening right there. Lots of stuff on the app. Our social media channels, the podcast replay of the show, and you can listen live 24/7. You can follow us on our YouTube channel. A lot of people watching on YouTube this morning. Just subscribe to the channel. That will do us a favor. Like the video. And, of course, leave your comments. Follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Hour number 1 dominated by conversation about Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever. We're going to move on from that because Ross went golfing yesterday. And you hit him well, right? You hit him well?
Yeah. Dude, I'm not good at golf. Let's not be honest. Let's be honest. Hitting it well to me means I had a couple good shots.
Yeah, you hit it straight. You were in the fairway, and you felt good about yourself.
I had a few of them straight. But have you ever gone to a golf course, Trav? And we've all gone to a golf course where the course is just not in the best of shape, and that's okay. It's weather happens. Sometimes droughts happen. Sometimes water happens. Sometimes they're doing construction around the course, and you've got to have grace for those things, right? And I want to have grace for those things and say, they're making improvements on the course, and I happen to be here while they're making said improvements. So, and I'm glad that they kept it open while they're doing the improvements on the course, right?
Because you can see what's going to happen. You're like, oh, this is going to be beautiful when it's done.
Beautiful. Yeah, when these bunkers are filled in with new sand, this is going to be really cool. But right now, while it's a mud bunker and literally while you're playing, the heavy machinery is delivering sand to the bunkers. There are giant patches of mud, of dead grass, no grass. Again, on certain courses, you kind of go in expecting it, right? You go in it, but on some courses, when you go in and you're paying a lot of money, and it's kind of like a special event type of deal, you know what I mean? Because there's a few courses around Central Iowa that are held in high regard.
You bring up something because I was thinking about this, and we're going to get to the course that you played.
We don't need to name the specific course because I don't want to trash anybody, but I think we've all been in this position.
It's not trashing somebody, but you can't advertise yourself as something that's more elite or better than something and not live up to those expectations.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about, because you bring up a good point. How many golf courses are there in Central Iowa, in Iowa? I mean, you can play any course. When you choose to spend a little bit of more money to a course that advertises itself as one of the best, if not the best, you're really doing it for the experience. Because you could go golf Grandview and have a great
time golfing. Grandview's in way better shape than this course I played yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll say it because I don't want people. I'll say it because they're working on it. They are working on it. We played Tournament Club of Iowa yesterday, which is a beautiful course. It's one of those I get to play that course once every couple of years with my buddies, and you really look forward to it. It was my friend's birthday yesterday. We were super excited about taking him up there for the first time. And dude, we'll never get him to go back. I mean,
were they doing construction? Were they doing?
They're doing work, but it should not have been a full price round. I'll tell you that. And they really should. There's no cart girl out on the course. The greens are in tough shape. The fairways look rough. There's a few beautiful holes still, just breathtaking holes. But several times you look around and you're like, this is TCI? This is Arnold Palmer's course? Like we were going to go I even shot a video and sent it to one of my buddies who plays there a lot because we literally were telling him, oh man, you're going to be blown away by this course. It's beautiful. This is what a golf course is supposed to be. And we walk up on one of the tee boxes. We're like, look, they even have sand. They even have buckets of sand there, like most golf courses do. We're trying to show our buddy. Open the lid. It's standing water. We're like, what is going on? Greens look rough. Tees look rough. Fairways look rough.
Yeah,
they're doing the work.
You're going to pay for the experience. If you're going to pay full price for the experience, you want the experience. And TCI is getting a lot of love here of saying, hey, it's one of the hardest courses in Iowa.
It is. It's a beautiful course. I'm trying to say that, and they're making improvements to it. They're doing things that are great to it. It was
if you can't give the experience, you shouldn't.
It was a frustrating experience yesterday. We had two guys with us that had never played it, and both of them walked off going, partly our fault. What we had done, I talk about this all the time. Expectation is the number one ingredient of success. What we had done was raise the expectation. For the last week, we'd been saying, wait, you guys are going to love this place.
What do you get one chance to do? You get first impression.
Yep.
So you have two buddies that have never played the course before. They go up there and go, what's your idea of a good golf course?
Yeah. And they're like, we drove up here, spent extra money to play a worse course. It's like when I took my friend up to Minnesota to go fishing and we didn't catch any fish.
Or let's use a restaurant as an example. Somebody tells you, oh my God, you have to go here because it's the greatest steak in the world. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you order it medium rare and it comes back medium well, you're going to be like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Or just this dead flat flavor, or you're like, well, not for me.
Yeah. And again, if you say, pardon our construction, we're going to charge half price. And if you acknowledge the court, and I think that's another thing. If somebody comes in and says,
set the expectation.
The expectation.
When you walk in the clubhouse, there should be something. Hey, we apologize for the course under construction. Please remove your ball from ground under work. Something like that lets you know. But like you get in the golf cart, talk about a silly little thing, Travis. But even one of my buddies pointed this out. Again, I wouldn't have even noticed it. We're pulling up to the first tee, and he goes, they don't put tees in the golf cart for you here? Tiny little thing, right? Tiny little thing that somebody noticed.
Yeah, but if you walk up, you don't have tees in the golf cart. You don't have sand in the sand bucket. It's full of water. You have a course that is in not good shape because of construction. There's some other things. Just because you're doing construction doesn't mean you have to let the whole thing go. And again, it's as simple as communication. If you say, hey, the course is going under a transformation right now. It's not the best.
Wait till you see what we're doing with this place.
Yes.
Yep. So, dude, on that same vein of like expectation, okay? Tell me if I'm making too much of this one. And I don't want to make a lot of it. So I'm not trying to make a stink. This was a frustrating one for me. So I've told you about the admission into the high school games, right? That it's more expensive to pay with cash to buy a ticket to a high school event than to put your credit card into this app, which I'm convinced is some sort of contractual thing. I've heard everything. People are like, oh, we're trying to get away from we're trying to move to a cashless society. We're trying to prevent gate workers from stealing cash. We're trying to keep a better record of stuff. I think that this is part of the contract that app has with the school district that says you will try to push people towards giving their information to us.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I think it's a contractual thing that they say, hey, you're going to charge people more money if they want to use cash. You're going to incentivize them to give their information to us. That's what I think has happened. But again, I'm a conspiracy theorist who's only right 70% of the time. So go to a game. It's up in Ames. So it's about a half-hour drive for me. Okay. It's a doubleheader. This was last week. It was a hot day. This was on Monday, actually. And pay my money to get in. Beautiful complex up there in Ames. Beautiful. Got big concession stands, bathrooms, softball field, baseball field. They even have like a practice facility in the back. There's probably 30 people there. It's hot. Concession stand's not open.
It's not open?
It's 10:30. It's a doubleheader. You've got 30 people here. They all paid money to get in. I have to leave and drive to Bebop's if I want to get a lemonade. If I want if I want water. And that one was one that I was like, what the hell?
So what you're saying is the level of experience that you want is if I'm paying $7-8 to get into a game, I will at least want to be able to purchase water. I want to be able to purchase a popcorn or hot dog.
Or the expectation. Can you somehow relay information to us that, hey, by the way, no concessions are available at this place? It would be like if you showed up and there was no bleachers. Be like, oh man, a heads up to bring a chair would have been a nice thing to do.
So not even a sign on the concession stand say, hey, it's 10:30 in the morning. We can't find anybody to work the concession stand. Nothing like that.
I heard a lot of that because I put something on Twitter. I was like, man, this is frustrating. Paid money to get in, no concession stands. It's hot. I wanted to get a Gatorade. I literally had to leave the game that I had paid money to get into, drive to a gas station, and then come back. And there's 30 people there for 4 hours. You'd have made money. You'd have made money selling water for $2 a bottle. And then I got a lot of like, welcome to high school sports. You don't understand how hard it is to get people. We got to pay the officials.
Well,
all of that's true. All of that's true. I don't mean to dismiss any of that. All that's true. But it's like, man.
Call me crazy here. I don't think you should have to pay to get into a JV2 game.
I mean, Trav, they got to pay the officials, and I'm okay with that. I said this. I don't mind paying the money to see my kid play. Not at all, dude. $7-8, I'll pay that for a freaking coffee sometimes, right? That's not the issue at all. It's the level. It's what's expected once I'm paying a lot of money to come to your golf course. Can you at least help me with the expectations of what I'm gonna get? So, and Ross says some schools charge and some don't for lower level games. Ross, I'll tell you this, as a DMPS dad, I've never seen an event where they didn't charge me.
If you can get the money, you get the money. Because parents will pay the money.
I'm going through my head. I don't think I've seen Eli play a high school event where I didn't pay. So
they said, yeah, got to pay the officials, and I bet they suck.
Oh no, the officials do a great job. I don't. I try to. I literally, Trav. I try to go out of my way to thank. If I see the officials, I try to go out of my way to go, hey guys, thanks for being here. And they usually go, oh, they're paying us. You don't have to thank us. They paid us.
We're not doing it for free.
Scott says my 6th grader plays in junior high, and they pay to get into games.
But you do have a level of expectation. When I go to a baseball game, I expect the concession stand to be open. You're like, that's part of the service that should be. If you have a concession stand, open the damn thing. That's part of.
If you're going to charge people to be there.
Because that's also a revenue source, by the way. They're making money off of the concession stand. Or at least have an option so you can get something to drink, something to eat. Especially, and think about this. You mentioned it's a doubleheader. It's not like it's just a 7-inning game that's going to be over by 12:30 where you can go, okay, it's lunchtime. Let's go to Bebop's.
I was there till 2:30.
Yeah. You're talking a doubleheader. So you got the first game, got what, 15, 20, half hour delay in between the second game? Then you start all over again? And Ryan says, it's just not part of the service. It is part of the experience. And that's what we all desire is the experience.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great word for it, Ryan. So anyway, that was my, will I go back? Absolutely. I can't wait to see what happens when they're done with all the stuff there. That was just a frustrating experience. And I think, I'm sharing it more of like, 2 things in a week where I was like, darn it. My expectations were far from met here.
And I don't think you had wildly. Some people have expectations that are never going to be met. You, on the other hand, and I know you, and I've known you for 15 years, you're pretty happy with most experiences that you get.
Pretty easy to please, I think.
Yeah, you're pretty easy to please.
As I bitch about everything every day. Except for from 6 to 8 in the morning. Then I get it all out. And then from 8 a.m. on, I'm a happy guy. It was fun. It's golf with your buddies, right? And there are some breathtaking.
Yeah, but let's use Brooks as an example. Brooks Reynolds just was recently in Scotland, got to, he could golf anywhere. But why do you go to the old course? It's for the experience.
Oh, yeah.
If you go to Pebble Beach and you pay the 175, 220, whatever a round costs at Pebble Beach, you expect to have an experience. You don't expect to go tear up the course and be like a scratch golfer. Or it might be $400 for a round. I don't know what Pebble Beach costs. I've never golfed Pebble Beach. But at the end of the day, you're golfing. You're choosing to spend that money not because you want to conquer the course and have a great round. You're doing it because, oh my God, I get to play Pebble Beach, or I get to play the old course, and I'm going to pay this kind of money for the experience.
Let's play a fun game. Okay. We're going to play fill in the Google. All right. We're going to play Google autofill. I typed in, how much is a round at? What do you think some of the top courses are that popped up after how much is a round at? Pebble Beach, TPC Sawgrass, Augusta, Torrey Pines, St. Andrews, Whistling Straits, Pinehurst, Shadow Creek. But number 2 on the Google list, how much is a round at the Wynn Golf Club?
Where's the Wynn Golf Club at?
We're about to find out. But by the way, Pebble Beach, $730.
That hurt. That hurt just hearing that.
But don't worry. If you're a guest, you don't have to pay for your cart fee. So it's only $675 per round if you're a member. Or as a guest, I'm sorry. If you're a resort guest, you only pay the $675 green fee. The cart fee is waived.
How nice of them.
Yes. Isn't the Wynn Golf Club? I was going to guess that was in Vegas.
I haven't. So you're talking Wynn, W-Y-N-N?
Yeah.
That sounds like Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
Now, you mentioned Augusta. You have to be either brought on by a member. I didn't even know you could pay for a round at Augusta. Or
I think that's what it says. I think that's what it's saying as a guest.
Okay.
You have to pay the $670. If a member says you're welcome, I would like to invite you to come. They're inviting you to pay $675 to play the round of golf. Which wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I'm pretty cheap, man. I am so
I'd
cheap.
do that. It's the experience again, dude. I mean, what are you gonna do with that $1,000?
A lot of things. But that's not
golf at Pebble Beach.
But it's also priorities, right? Golf is not a big priority to me.
Yeah.
Even and so I don't desire to go play like the best courses in the world. It's just not my thing. But there are probably some things, if I could have that experience, I would probably do. The experience I want to do now, it's so simple, and it's not a hefty investment, but I want to do the Sphere in Las Vegas. I think I want to see a show, and I want to wait for the right show, but I want to do the Sphere because I think the Sphere just looks absolutely like this really cool place to do. Pebble Beach doesn't interest me. Even Augusta doesn't interest me just because I'm not in love with golf courses like some people. But it's different strokes for different folks. Everybody's going to be passionate about something different and want that experience.
I love the chat. Ross says $1,000 probably includes a concession stand
and a cart girl. And by the way, have you ever seen a cart dude? I've never seen a cart dude.
Yes, I have.
Have you?
Yeah. John, this is our buddy John Alexander that's hooked us up. He says the etiquette is if you invite someone to play your course, you pay their green fee.
I
didn't know that. That's kind of cool. All right, so then I also did a Google search. The most expensive green fees in the world. It's in America. It's in Las Vegas. It's not the Wynn Golf Club. Shadow Creek in Las Vegas has a green fee of $1,250.
That saying is, we don't want you to play our course. Right? Am I wrong there? I mean, that's saying members only.
Oh, that's incredible.
We don't want average Joes coming in here and playing. And how do we prevent that? We'll just put it at $1,200. Don't play our course.
Every
if you
time
want to play our course, you're gonna.
Every time somebody slices a ball into another fairway, they up the price $50. We got to get these guys out of here. We got to price them out.
But see, you've golfed in Las Vegas. If you slice it out of the fairway and into the rock, you don't go into the rock because there are signs that say rattlesnakes, and you're like, you know what? I'll just leave. I'll leave the Pro V1.
Dude, it was one of my favorite moments in ever golfing. My buddy Adam Bentz. They told us when we got to Rio Seco, that's Butch Harmon's golf course, and Butch Harmon was one of Tiger's swing coaches for a while, right?
Yep.
And they told us, like, hey, by the way, hit the ball into the desert. Leave it. Leave it. So we're playing whatever it is, 5. My buddy Bency slices a ball into this desert area. Well, now we're playing 6, coming back on the other side. He slices another ball into the same area. And Bency's a man's man, fullback in college, right? He's like, I'm going in there. I got two golf balls over there. I'm going to get them. So he goes over, grabs a couple of golf balls because obviously nobody goes into the desert. So he's got like 4 or 5 balls, but he's walking back to the cart and he's looking at this one ball. And he's like, dude, look at this. And he has a ball that says Tiger on it.
I remember this story.
Like, no way, you found Tiger Woods' golf ball. Oh, my God. So I call my best friend, Scott. I'm like, Scotty, you're not going to believe this. We're playing Rio Seco, Butch Harmon's golf course. Bency sliced a couple balls, goes and gets a ball, finds a Bridgestone that says Tiger on it. And Scott goes, yeah, they sell those at Walmart. You did not find... You think Bentz hits the ball where Tiger Woods hits it? Oh, yeah. Oh, that was pretty dumb.
You shouldn't have made the phone call. You could have had this whole thing in your head.
Trust me, the phone call, I tell the story, the phone call happened about an hour later. So we had an hour of pure joy. This is amazing. It's the greatest day of golf ever.
515-517-2303. We come back. A conversation we started yesterday on the transfer portal, tampering, and just what that looks like as we move forward in the new age of college athletics. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Hi, I'm John Linares, sales manager here at Willis Lexus, and it is summertime and it's time to roll down the windows and enjoy that nice weather. For the first time in a long time, we have TX available in stock, and we are taking $1,500 off in stock models. And speaking of cash off, we've got $2,000 of lease cash on all ES models, and if you're looking to finance, we have rates as low as 3.79 on popular models like RX, NX, IS, and ES. I invite you to stop in and take a new one for a drive, or visit us online at willislexus.com.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbock to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Yesterday, towards the end of the show, I brought up the story of the South Carolina quarterback, Lenora Sellers. He's a dual threat quarterback. Hell of a freshman year, threw for over 2,500 yards, I think ran for close to 700 yards. And when you put those numbers up as a freshman, you're at South Carolina, you're going to get a lot of interest in today's NIL world, which is changing supposedly. But his dad came out and said, you know what, to stay at South Carolina, he's committed because he turned down a 2-year, $8 million deal. And the kid never entered the transfer portal, which meant there was tampering going on, either by collectives, intermediaries of said universities, or directly by coaches. And now that the landscape is changing, and we've heard the conference commissioner say, hey, they want to hold true to these NIL deals. And what does the transfer portal look like? And Ross ended the show by saying, hey, maybe there shouldn't be a transfer portal. And now you've been one who has been an advocate of, it's a free market system. You should be able to go wherever you want. And I was trying to, I had a lot of window time yesterday. So I'm like, what did Ross mean by no transfer portal? So I need you to explain to me, because if it's a portal or not, I mean, transfer is transferring. You can call it a portal, or you can just call it go wherever you want.
Yeah.
What did you mean by no transfer portal?
Well, and again, it's kind of one of those things that just kind of flew out of my mouth, right? It went from my head to being on the air. Here's what I think I meant by that, Travis, and let's build it back up. The idea of student athlete is unfortunately long gone. Long gone.
I agree with you on that.
So I feel like there should be one of two systems. Number one, it should be a school system. If you don't want to play football, you don't have to play football, but you're enrolled at this university. That's what this was. It's an institution of higher learning that happens to have a football team, and we'd made an agreement that if you did the football thing, we'd teach you the stuff. That's what this was. So we either go back to that, and we say you can transfer at the end of semester and at the end of the school year. Nobody wants to do that. So what if the other option is we treat it the way that the Supreme Court said it's supposed to be treated? These institutions, we need to break it back down totally. They're not athletes. They're employees. Okay, they're potential employees. If my son, I go to watch Eli, he's going to have a baseball game today, okay? If Eli and 8 of his buddies were all engineering students, and every couple of days we all got together and they worked on some amazing engineering project, and all of the finest engineering institutions in America were watching them, those finest institutions in America, and I don't mean colleges, I mean businesses. Okay. First of all, Stanford, Google, they'd all be all entities. They would all compete for our kids' services. They would all show up with their own highest and best offer to that kid at any given time. There wouldn't be a window. There wouldn't be this. There wouldn't be an overlord that would say, "You now may begin your negotiations." Boom, which is what happens now. We're going to start it at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, July 17th. Ready? Go. That's not how that would work. As soon as those institutions recognized the talent, they could reach out and say, hey, we have an offer for you. We would like to make you a better offer than, and by the way, if you get another offer, will you tell us what that is? And then we'll up our offer. That's the way that we all know that's the way the world works in negotiation, right? You show up with your highest and best offer, or you show up with a negotiation. And then eventually, if there's a lot of people competing for said talent, it turns into a highest and best offer. There is no overlord that gets to say, these are the times when you get to do this. So like when Lenora Sellers, when somebody calls him and says, hey, we have an $8 million offer for you, the right thing for him to do is say, nope, the overlords have not banged the gong yet. I can't have this conversation. That's what I'm being told right now, is that this kid who's an amazing talent, who somebody wants to give $8 million to play quarterback when he's not even 20 years old. Nope. We decided that's not okay because you at 18 said you wanted to play football for that school and wear that laundry. And so now you tough titty, man, tough titty. That $8 million would have been nice for you and your family, wouldn't it? Yeah. And but he didn't. He said, nope, I'm going to stick around. And we, court of public opinion somehow, because, and again, I would say because we were brainwashed for freaking decades, we look at it and go, wait a minute, who tampered? And I don't mean to say it like that, Travis. I don't mean to knock the way that you presented this, of like, somebody broke the rules. Somebody broke the rules. Somebody who agreed to rules, one of these institutions agreed to a collusion. They colluded and said, we're all gonna agree to this rule, right? We're not gonna talk until the gong goes off. And then once the gong goes off, we can all play our little game. Just like Jamie Pollard told us. They shook their hands inside that boardroom. They went out, they shut the door, and they said, all right, guys, start working now before the gong goes off. Make your phone calls.
Here's my take on if you really want to fix this thing, because you said it best. Now that we've got into actual revenue share, where you are sharing revenue out of the athletic department, where it's now legal to pay people, it is a professional system. Now, where we come to the transfer portal, this is what they don't want to do. They don't want to make these kids actual employees of the university, because that brings up you can't have you either got to go all in, because if you make them employees, then you sign a contract, much like a professional says, hey, we have you for 2 years. We have you for 3 years. And if you sign that contract, you can't go anywhere, right? Unless a team allows you to get out of said contract.
Yeah, that contract has penalties built into it that says if you leave, if you can't perform said duties, blah, blah, blah.
And that's where, but to do that, I think you would actually have to make them employees. Now you're getting into, healthcare, which you're taking care of as a player, but then, unemployment, what does that look like? But you can't say, hey, we're going to enforce this and everybody be mad about transfer portal, but yet, we don't want to make them employees.
Yeah.
I have no problem with a contractual system to where, you can't tamper with a pro athlete. And when a pro athlete signs a 5-year deal, they're expecting you to have a 5-year deal unless they trade you, right? And you can't go bang the gong or whatever that is. So
and by the way, don't kid yourselves, because we all know this happens in the NFL too. But the NFL, the quiet part is always said out loud. So they claim to have the same system in the NFL, right? Where they say, all right, free agency is going to start at this moment. Can't have any conversations until 10 p.m. And then at 10:01, a dude is signing a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract. That was fast negotiation. They must have really came with a good offer. No. They were all cheating and breaking their own rules that they agreed to and having these negotiations long before the gong went off, right?
But the differences are you become a free agent, and I'm not condoning it.
But the tampering thing is what I'm saying. It's what Jamie Pollard told us. Everybody gets in a room and they make rules, and then they step out of the room and they go, "Hey, cool! I just made that rule, so I know the way around it."
Well, the way around it is if you talk to said agent, I don't think that's now because you're not talking directly to the player at that point. But these guys are my agent's coming at me with the deal. Nobody talked to me. I didn't know about it.
This takes me back to my point that I made that thing that just flies out of my head at the end of the show yesterday. Then what are we doing? Then why do we make the rules if it's that easy? Well, we can't talk to the player. Well, then I can talk to the agent. Yep. What? It's tampering if you call 6812556. That's tampering. But if you call 6812555, that's his agent. That's how you get around that. Why did we make the rule? Because everybody wanted to feel good? Because you wanted to pretend? I'm genuinely asking, what good is the rule if it's that simple? So Lenora Sellers maybe was not tampered with at all. Maybe somebody reached out to his agent. Or his dad. I can call the dad. I can send the dad an Instagram message, I bet. I don't know. I don't know. But there's obviously ways around the rule that these guys all agreed to.
Now, Drew says, yeah, sure, just like these contracts are upheld by these coaches too. Signs a 5-year extension, boom, next week coaches elsewhere. Hold on for a second. And you have a point there, but there are buyouts there. I mean, there is money. We heard Brian Harden talk about, hey, he's getting a $2 million check or whatever from. I mean, you can buy yourself out of a contract,
and that will exist for players. Brian Harden, when we get through the mud, and these players are employees of these universities, that will be part of the contracts that Drake and you and I sign. We'd love to have you come play here. We know that if things go well, Kansas is going to come calling. When Kansas comes calling, we need to get rewarded for our investment in you.
And that's fair.
Exactly. Totally fair. And should be done that way. This is the way it happens in the professional soccer system in Europe.
Well, I mean, look, Mickey Joseph, who's the head coach, I believe, at Grambling, said this, towards the end of last season. I don't care that my players go on to play a higher level division, but we made our NIL. We need to get compensated.
Exactly. And even, we could even loan players.
Yeah.
We could loan players. So Duke has let's say Drake has a junior who's fantastic.
Bennett Sturts.
Bennett's the great example. Okay. Now let's say that last year that Ben McCollum was not able to recruit that lineup around Bennett Sturts, but he had Bennett Sturts. Imagine if Drake could have loaned Bennett Sturts to Iowa for last season. They would have gotten money back from it. They would have financially gained from that. The team obviously would not have been as good. But then what would have happened in this professional soccer model, Bennett Sturts comes back to Drake for his senior year. Drake got money. They had an investment, just like the Graham the guy was talking about. Or Iowa comes in and says, we really like Bennett Sturts. We're just going to buy him from you. So then they make even more money. There's no perfect way, man, but I feel like we're still stuck with a lot of this NCAA tar. It's hard to get out of this conversation of, well, wait, aren't we breaking the rules? I think that the conversation needs to start back with, what are the rules? Why do we have the rules? Why is always the best question. Why is there a transfer portal? Why is there a window where you can talk to these kids? Why do we have a rule that says you can't talk to the kid, but you can talk to his agent? Who are the rules for?
Oh, the rules are for the schools, right? But you also have the transfer portal that benefits the player that can leave anytime they want. I just look at it now. Now that you have direct revenue share, you just sign a contract. Say we're signing you to a 3-year deal. If you want out, we can talk about that, but we're going to get compensated for that. If we don't want you out, you're stuck to the contract. I mean, that's what it is. I was okay with it when it was like just straight NIL. I get it, but now you have direct payment. Just sign a 3-year deal. And
that has buyouts, that has guaranteed parts of it.
Yes.
But man, and now that's why we've had such great conversations about this. Now the Brian Harden thing is going through my head. I'm an athletic director. I'm not a contract lawyer. I got into this business because I was an athletic director, not a fundraiser, and now I'm a fundraiser, and now you're telling me my next job is going to be a contract lawyer? Can't I just direct athletics?
Well, look at Iowa, right? And now you're asking fans to directly pay and make up the gap in direct revenue pay. Fans are going to say, if we're going to give you money to pay these people, we want these people to stay on campus. That's return.
That's every university, by the way. It's not just Iowa. Every university is saying, hey, dude, have you seen the Georgia coaches' salaries? Throw a number at me. What do you think the Georgia coaching staff? Because Kirby Smart makes $13 million a year as the head coach.
I would say when you throw all the assistants in there, you're looking at a $35 to $40 million.
You are
payroll.
really good at this game, dude. You're really good at this game. It's like in the $30 to $35 million range.
Because most head coaches now have realized that if you want continuity, and this is what Hayden Fry was successful at, I think Tom Osborne was successful at, Kirk Ferentz has been fairly successful at. Matt Campbell has fought for higher pay for his assistants because you want that continuity. So it used to be head coach made all the money, assistant coaches didn't make any, and that's why you saw assistant coaches kind of switch all the time. Then the supply and demand, and they realized, if we want to up our game, not only do we need facilities, we need more money for our assistant coaches.
But again, all built on the nonprofit model that was illegal. All of that built on that. This is what I'm talking about. Stuck in the tar. All of that thing you just said. Well, we had to build facilities. We had to pay the coaches. We had to pay a head coach millions of dollars. And then we had to pay the assistant coaches of millions of dollars. Why did you have to do that? Because we had to spend the money. We were working under this nonprofit model, and we had to spend the money. So we had to build locker rooms when we didn't need locker rooms. We had to re-turf the field when we didn't need to re-turf the field. We had to give coaches $13 million to coach a football team.
And by the way, I wouldn't turn down $13 million.
Neither would I. I don't knock play. I'm not hating the player. I'm hating the game. I don't knock Kirby Smart. Where I start to knock Kirby Smart is when Kirby Smart then stands up and goes, "We're broke. We can't afford to do this. You want us to pay the players $20 million? You got 100 kids on that roster. They want $20 million. You have 11 coaches making 30. Okay.
You're never going to have a perfect system, right?
That's
never going to happen.
But again, all built on stuff that has crumbled. All built on stuff that was fake. We were lied to.
And that's why when you say no transfer portal, I just look at it and go, now's the best time to say, here's the contract, sign it. It's not a guaranteed 4 years. It's 3 years with an option to stay or an option to leave. And if we want to trade you, we'll trade you. If you want to get out, you can come to us. We have the right to say no, but there's going to be compensation on the back end of that. If we're making the investment, and there is an investment in it. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves. There's a lot of investment that goes into athletics and the development of these players.
Absolutely.
And
Drew is right. That conversation about Brian Harden, where he's standing around going, "Can't I just be an AD, please? Can I do the job you hired me for?" This is why so many of these programs are hiring general managers. This is why you go get the Chiefs' former GM and say, "Hey, can you come in and figure this stuff out for us? Because we got this guy who's a really good football coach. We want him to coach football. We got this guy that's a really good athletic director or gal. We want them to direct athletics. Can you do this thing in the middle that's created?
Because we assume that all these guys were prepared, and we see it with coaches, especially at the basketball level. Jay Wright, Tony Bennett, all these guys walk away like, I'm not built for this. I'm built to coach. I'm not built to do this other part of it. And they just get out of it. And Brian Harden is he's obviously staying at Drake, but it's like, I don't want to do this. I know fundraising is a part of the deal, but now we're getting into territory that probably doesn't make the job fun anymore. Pete Crow Armstrong hit a 452-foot home run last night for the Chicago Cubs as the Cubs beat the Milwaukee Brewers 5-3. Ross, after the game, he was asked about whether or not he would participate in the home run derby at the All-Star game. He goes, no, not interested in it. Not right now. Says he may do it in the future, but, Pete Crow Armstrong, one of these up-and-coming players, exciting player. What does that say about the home run derby and the willingness to participate in said event?
I mean, probably the same thing you could say about the slam dunk contest in the NBA All-Star game, and why you don't get, a G League guy has won the slam dunk contest the last several years. He's a dunker. He's not a great basketball player. He's really good. He's not a great basketball player. He's a great dunker. These things just aren't that important. I think, Travis, that true or not, and I don't have an opinion on, I don't have the information. I think that there's this this idea that going to the home run derby somehow affects you for a period of time. Going out there and taking,
massive
150 massive hacks in a row has an effect on how your approach. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I maybe that's part of it. I just think that in general, these things are not that important to these guys. Dude, again, you go back to the 80s, 90s, look at the slam dunk contest. It was the absolute who's who of the game. You look at the home run derby. There you go. The home run derby, you could look at that and go, who are the 8 biggest superstars in baseball? That's who's going to be in the home run derby. And that faded quickly. I don't know. I wish I could name that. Here's what you said that I would like to focus on. Pete Crow Armstrong, all the pieces are there for a superstar. He's fun. He doesn't seem to, he's kind of brash. He's fast. He hits for power. He plays great defense. He's on the Cubs.
And they're in first place.
I think that's the coffee is brewing there for, maybe not megastar, but like certainly what Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, what those guys were able to do and become to Cubs lore. I think that's what Pete Crow Armstrong is going to be.
And by the way, he also has the name, right? There's something about the name Pete Crow Armstrong that just, you're like, yeah, that's a baseball player. That's a baseball player.
Do you like PCA?
No, I think I like saying Pete Crow.
Yeah, I
like hearing
it.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Hey, Biscuit.
I think I like that better. But it's also him going, you know what? I don't need the home run derby to prop me up anymore. I'll just let my game speak for itself. And again, he says he didn't say he would never do the home run derby. He just said, probably not this year. And there may be a couple years down the road where he goes, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
And I think that's the right answer. Keep the option open. No reason to slam the door or knock it. No reason to go out there and be like, these guys are idiots that do that thing. No, not for me right now.
The Yankees were flying high a couple weeks ago, and they did this last year. They kind of go in the tank. They've now been shut out 3 consecutive games, tying a franchise record. They have not scored a run in 28 innings. You look at the bats that are on the Yankees roster, and you're like, how do you not score runs? I mean, that team's built for scoring runs.
Oh, dude, in baseball, it's hard to win if you don't score.
You don't say.
Travis, did I see you send me something, or did I read something that this is, or did you even just say it? I'm so sorry. Is this a franchise record?
It ties a franchise record for most consecutive shutouts. They're not at a franchise record yet for most scoreless innings. 33 is the most scoreless innings that the Yankees have had, but they're at 28 right now. They're just itching to score some runs.
Play at home. Still at home against the Angels tonight. 6:05. Want to see history?
Do you think they get shut out again?
Dude, oh God, no.
Now, it'd be interesting if they don't score to like the 6th inning. Then you have
Set
a
the
new
record.
record.
Yeah,
you have a new record.
They'll be all right. I mean, it's the most important part of this conversation is it's the middle of June.
Yeah, I mean, your two big storylines in baseball right now, or you have 3 storylines in baseball right now. Shohei Ohtani is pitching again. Pete Crow Armstrong says he's not going to be in the home run derby, and the Yankees have been shut out 3 straight games. I mean, those are the biggest storylines in baseball right now.
And I'll be honest, it's been maybe a week or so since I've looked. Rockies. Look at the Rockies. Dude, they're 4-6 in their last 10 games.
Wow.
16-57. Here we go.
But the Rockies aren't the storyline anymore. Thank God.
Well, once they start winning, I mean, who wants to talk about a team that's 4-6 in the last 10? It's a lot more fun to talk about a team that's 1-9. Dusty says this is the Boone June. Dusty's a big Yankees fan.
And that's why I brought up. He says it's normal for 5 years in a row now. And that's why I started the conversation. It did the same thing last year.
And I'm okay. I hate to say I'm okay with it, but it's June. It's all right. Still sitting in first place.
Oh, in one story we didn't get to today, Florida won the Stanley Cup last night.
Well, I talked about it for briefly when I was like, oh, yeah, Ray's all sad because hockey's over. Yeah, Florida wins the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about it.
Maybe it's because it's Florida, right? It's like, and they've won back-to-back cups, but there is something about a team in Florida winning the Stanley Cup. You're like,
Man, yeah, Trav, the Stanley Cup finals kind of do that to me, right? I'm excited about it, tune in, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, it's hockey still.
Yeah, the first 2 games were great. Then after that, Florida kind of took over. All right, we got another show in the books. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. It is a thirsty Thursday. Bruno will be with us. And we'll find out what else we can drum up for you tomorrow. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines. We got some great things going on this month. This month, you can lease an all-new Countryman S for as low as $369 a month for 39 months. You can lease an all-new Cooper S hardtop for $319 a month. And right now, we have rates as low as $2.99 out to 48. For more information, come see your favorite Mini motoring advisor or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager at Mini of Des Moines. School is out and summer is here. Before you hit the road for your motoring adventures, visit us for your oil changes, get your AC checked out, or make sure your tires are roadworthy. Give us a call to schedule or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.